Just how you and I both like to push hard on those leg days to strengthen up the muscles in our lower body, we gotta take just as much time to strengthen up the joints in the lower body. And that's exactly where equipment like this comes into play. What's up everyone, David here. Got a new video for y'all today, but before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now go ahead, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the review video for this bench right here, the Tip Bar Guide Nordic Hamstring Curl Bench. If you haven't already, go ahead and check it out. A few weeks ago, they sent it to me. You know what? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Just give us an honest review. Honestly, love this piece of equipment. Use it every single lower body day, every single leg day. There's not a single leg workout that goes where I don't use this in some way, shape, or form. Now, fast forward a couple weeks. You know what? Let's go ahead and do it again. But this time, they sent me this right here. Same brand, the Tip Bar Guy. Now we got the Slant Stack. Very much appreciative, very grateful. Thank you. Now, I went about it the same way. Used it throughout this past week, all of my workouts. Now let's go ahead and review it. Now, this one's gonna be a little different though. It's not like the typical workout equipment where typically I could just push as hard as I can and just abuse it. No. With equipment like this, there's realistically two ways to go about it. And that's gonna be the two ways I'm gonna be breaking it down here. Main focus, prehab work. It's not always about just pushing yourself as hard as you can, building the muscle as big as it can be, loading up the bar, being as strong as you can be. No. Sometimes you got to look out for your long-term health. I don't know about y'all, but I love lifting heavy. Strength background, powerlifting background, squatting, benching, deadlifting, just heavy compound movements. That's what I love to do. That's my preference. But the thing is, eventually your joints are just going to wear out. There's only so hard you can push for so often. You got to take a little bit of time to focus on that recovery, that long-term preventative injury. That's what this is. Prehab. I'm looking out for my ankle health. I'm looking out for my knee health when it comes to utilizing pieces of equipment like this. Again, this is meant for injury prevention. That's first and foremost. But you know what, when it comes to a home gym, if it's going to be taking realistically this much room, which honestly isn't that much, but I like to be as versatile as possible. With what little equipment I would have, I want to make sure I could do as much as possible with everything. So second part about using this equipment, I was using it to modify the current strength training bodybuilding exercises I was already doing. So overall, would I recommend this piece of equipment? Absolutely. But here's the thing, how would you go about it? Well, first off, you got to know how to set it up. So here's what we got right here. Anytime that you're going to be getting this specific slant stack, it's going to come in 4 pieces. The first part is going to be these little guys right here. These are the actual blocks that allow you to get to whatever height it is that you want. Every stack is going to come with 3 of them. They're all 2 inches in height, and just think about it like adult Legos. They got the little blocks right here. All you got to do is just lock them in place, give it a little shake to make sure they'll move around. And what I really like about it is they're so easy to move around because they got these little indentations that you can actually slide your fingers in. Boom, take off 1, all right, take off 2, or if you got to go carry the whole stack, boom. And the good thing is they're plastic. They realistically weigh nothing. I mean, come on now. This is super easy to move it. If I got to slide it over to the other side of the gym, if I got to move it over here to this side, whatever it may be, super portable, super easy. The size, I mean, for what it's meant to do, this is perfect. Now, on top of that, this little guy right here, the actual slant, the wedge, this is going to be the game changer, which we'll get to in a bit. This right here is what's going to fix a lot of your problems. It's what's going to help address a lot of your problems when it comes to prehab, injury prevention, ankle health, knee health. This right here, you can go ahead and stack it up on top of any one of the blocks. The good thing is it's also adjustable as to where on the block you want. There's so many different slots. If you want to put it all the way on the edge right here, you can, and you could always slide it back 1 slot until eventually you reach the back end. Just make sure it actually locks in place. The last thing you want is to actually step on it and you didn't put it on correctly and the whole thing slides off. So overall, the whole stack, 4 pieces made out of plastic, easy to move around, lightweight, good size, realistically doesn't take up much room. But once you have it set up, what exactly is it that you're setting it up for?
I don't know. never thought I'd get this far.
First and foremost, for your warm-ups. I mean, let's be completely honest. The strength game is changing. Everyone is starting to get into just the heavy lifting with the emerging research and showing the benefits of why people need resistance training. People are wanting to train more and more lower body. They want to do their squats. They want to go ahead and do their deadlifts, whatever exercise it is that they want. People are just starting to lift weights. But again, there's only so much you can push. We got to look out for the joint health as well. When we're working out, we're building up the muscles, but we never really prioritize the actual joints, the bones, the ligaments, the tendons. Tendons are what attach muscles to bones. Ligaments are what attach bone to bone. We got to make sure we look out after all of it. So what I like to do with these, now that I have them, is I'm using them before I start squatting. I'm going to go ahead and use it to actually warm up the tendons, the joints, just very minimal movements. You got to understand, with these type of exercises, you're not meant to load them. So the first thing that I went ahead and did with this is, I personally call them touchdown squats, because you're going down, and then right when you touch your heel on the ground, back up. Some people call them step downs. Some people call them reverse step ups, because you're not really stepping up onto a platform. You're already on there. You're actually making your way back down. Whatever it is that you want to go ahead and call them, I highly recommend you do them. I do them before I work out, before I do my heavy deadlifts, before I do my heavy squats. Some of you, if you want to include that as part of the actual warm-up, you can. Just know those are not meant to be loaded by any means. Me personally, I'm a 300, 400 pound squatter, deadlifter, just depending on the day. And when it came to this exercise, all I did was load up a 10 on each side of the bar on a Smith machine. And that was more than enough. Decided to get a little ambitious and add another 10. So not just 20 pounds on each side. That alone is enough. And keep in mind, I was only doing it with 3 boxes. So each one 2 inches in height. We're looking at a total of 6 inches, half a foot. And believe me when I tell you, I felt all of it right here in the patellar tendon. Not necessarily the quad, the actual patellar tendon right underneath the kneecap. Because again, what are we actually strengthening? What is the goal? We're doing this for long-term health. We got to strengthen the ligaments. We got to strengthen the tendons. That's what we're aiming for. Joint health. I'm trying to put in the work to strengthen up my knees. The healthier and the stronger my knees are, the more years it's going to allow me to squat and deadlift heavy, because I want to be in the lifting game for a long time. And you can go ahead and check it out with all the emerging research. I'm pretty sure you've seen knees over toes guy. We got the tib bar guy. All of this, there's a reason why all of these type of training styles and all these different brands with this type of modalities are coming up, because all the emerging research is showing all this new stuff that we got to be doing for our knees to preserve them. So that has been the biggest go-to, that one exercise right there. Another thing that you can use these for is also going to be for the cool down. After we work out, our calves, our ankles, what happened? They're so stiff. We got to stretch them out. That's what this little guy specifically is for. You prop this up against the wall and you do a standing calf stretch on there. Oh, deep stretch. The angle is perfect. You're going to feel this muscle right here, your calf. That's going to help you improve that ankle mobility, because the reason why people's ankles are so limited in mobility is because that calf muscle is so tight. So we take the time to actually stretch it. Go for it. Do it. That's going to help out. Where would that help out? Squats. So many of you cannot squat to depth. The reason why is because the moment you start going all the way down, up to a certain point, your heels start coming off the ground, and that's throwing off your form. That could lead to injury, especially if you're squatting heavy and you're forcing the depth down, but your heels are coming off the ground. You got to address that ankle mobility. So yes, at the end of the workout, take some time to stretch out those calves. That will help you out. But what are you going to do in the meantime until that flexibility is fully developed to the point where you can do a full depth squat? What you can do is elevate your heels. And that's what this one, the wedge specifically, will come into play. Whatever type of squat it is that you're doing, whether it be on a Smith machine, a barbell, goblet squats with a dumbbell, any variation of it, if you struggle with ankle mobility, just elevate the heels on this, go all the way down, rep it out. However, this should never be the go-to solution for long-term squats. Although, yes, I'm using this for a certain amount of squats. Specifically, when I do my goblet squats, I'm going to go ahead and be using this wedge to elevate my heels. I'm still not ignoring my stretching to improve it. Think about elevating your heels as a temporary band-aid just to place over the wound. No, it's not a permanent fix. It's just a quick fix right there in that moment. But I'm still addressing the underlying issue of that ankle mobility. Another one, just going based off of just looking out for your knee and ankle health. health. If you're doing some type of lunge and it's a lot of pressure in your knees and you have limited range of motion, okay, you can use the boxes themselves to actually elevate your front leg, so that way you don't have to go all the way down. If that feels a lot better on your knees, it's a little bit less strain, a little bit less range of motion, then go for it. That could be a temporary fix until you take the time to properly strengthen up this entire area, and then you can go ahead and do full range of motion. So this past week, what did I do? I did my stationary split squats, but I did it on the Smith machine, elevated my front leg with a few of these boxes. All right, felt a lot nicer on the knee. Long term though, once I get strengthened up, once I get a little better with those single leg exercises, all right, I wouldn't have to use these as much. Or as I start getting stronger and I want to start increasing the range of motion, 1 week I can do 3 boxes, which is what I did this past week. All right, next week it's a little easier. Let's go down to just 2, and then eventually we're gonna go down to 1, and then eventually I can go ahead and just do it normally with a full range of motion. That's just little things that you can do to modify these exercises. How can we use it during the actual main resistance training part, the strength training, the bodybuilding training, for the aesthetics, training for performance? It's gonna take a little creativity, but here are some of the things that have really worked for me, and honestly, I love them. I already talked about it earlier, but squats. Maybe some of you already have the ankle mobility to go all the way down on a squat without the use of elevating your heels. But you know what? If you want to maximize the amount of quad that you're going to be using, you just want that squat to be as quad biased as possible, because that's a weak point. You're really trying to build up that muscle root. So you want to try to keep your torso as upright as possible and really maximize the amount that your knee is bending to really force these muscles to work. Okay, go ahead and just elevate your heels. Even though you have good ankle mobility, it doesn't hurt to elevate your heels even more so. That's just going to be more quad activation, which is good if that's your goal. Me personally, my quads are not as big as I like, so whenever I'm doing my squats, boom, I'm going to be utilizing this. Nothing wrong with that. Talking about increasing the range of motion for quad movements, when I do my Bulgarian split squats, ever since I got this bench right here, thank you once again, Tip Bar Guy, just thank you for Aries. You're just truly grateful to be given the chance to be doing this. Is I actually moved this little guy over to this side and I prop my leg on here, and this is what I used to balance out and do my Bulgarian split squats. But the thing is, I could only go so low until the point where my knee that's elevated starts hitting the ground. What if I want even more range of motion to really work that working leg, the front leg, the one that's propped down on the ground? All right, easy. I just go ahead and elevate my leg on this, and now that elevates me 6 inches off the ground. So front leg 6 inches off the ground, that means I can go 6 inches deeper now before my knee hits anything. That increased range of motion, the extra stretch I'm applying on that muscle, could lead to more gains. Perfect. And honestly, when it comes to that exercise, the Bulgarian split squats, I just do it body weight, because I do it at the very end of all of my squats, at the end of all of my hack squats, all my big compounds with weight. I do that first. Afterwards, when I hit this, just the increased range of motion with just body weight is more than enough. Now, what about for actual machines? I have a hack squat right there, but I keep running into this problem where once I go all the way down, the waist leg just barely taps the bottom portion, but I'm not at full depth. I can go lower. My mobility and my flexibility allows me to get into a deeper squat. I just physically cannot, because the machine actually stops me. Well, if I were to elevate myself by placing one of these on the platform and then standing on top of it, that's going to elevate me 2 inches off the platform. Those 2 inches is all I need. So now I can go ahead and hit a full depth squat. My hamstring is literally right up against my calf. I'm as low as I possibly could be. Now I feel an even deeper stretch in that quad. Perfect. Better range of motion, more quad gains. However, if you are going to be doing this, because there's a little problem that I ran into, because they are plastic and not rubber, it will have a tendency to slip. So you just got to be real careful about that. When I was setting up for one of them, right when I unracked the bar, it did slip over a little. So be careful with that. You don't want to blow out a knee. We're actually doing this for knee health. The last thing we want is to actually injure our knee by doing something irresponsible. So just be on the lookout. If you want to add a little bit of rubber stoppers here, or put something on the edge of the platform, just whatever it is that you're doing for anything, wherever it is that you're going to be putting these on, just keep in mind they are plastic, they are slippery. So put it on top of a rubber mat, put it somewhere where they will not slip. Put some dumbbells on the side to lock it in place, slide it up against a wall or something so they don't move. Whatever it is, just be careful. Last lower body lift, deadlifts. I always do deficit deadlifts. I'm pretty sure if you followed me for a while, you've seen on all my other deadlift videos, I always do deficit deadlifts off of a 2-inch platform. Now, I'm doing it off of these. Same thing, 2-inch platform. They work perfectly fine. The only thing is, I would have to put 2 of them side by side like this, because one alone is not enough for my stance. If I were to just use one, my natural deadlift stance is right here where these elevated blocks are. So obviously I have to narrow myself out to actually fit inside of it, and that just feels uncomfortable. So I have no choice but to put two side by side, and then my feet right here. But if you're a little smaller, have a smaller frame, have a more narrow stance, you can get away with just using one. The bad thing about that, I have to go a little wider, is if I want an elevated platform even more, let's just say I want to do a deficit off of 4 inches, which is 2 blocks, I can't do it with this stance. It's just too narrow. My feet have to be right here on top of these elevated little blocks that allow them to lock into place. So I guess that will be one of the cons, I would say, of this stack. I wish it came in 4 rather than 3, or just some even number. So in case I have to put 2 side-by-side stacks, it's not uneven. I wish I would have had a second one here, but again, the fact that it comes in 3, not a deal breaker. Just would have been a little bit nicer to have an even interval of 4. 2 and 2 evens things out. But at the end of the day, those deficit deadlifts, these stood up. Do not use these as deadlift blocks. No, if you drop a weight on here, because they are plastic, I'm pretty sure they will crack. I don't even want to attempt it, but I'm just going to go with the assumption that they will, because you can see it's just little ribs right here, thin pieces of plastic. Don't drop weights on here. Don't even bother to test it out. I wouldn't want to risk it. But if we're doing some type of modification, a little bit of feedback, it would be cool if they could make the same model but out of rubber and make it a full block of rubber, so that way you can use it even more. So it will be more versatile. You can use it for deadlift blocks, you can use it for deficit, you can drop weights on here, and since they're rubber, now they can break, whatever it may be. I feel like that would be a pretty cool change. And also the fact that the rubber, they won't slip. Since these are plastic, they are slippery, but you know what? For what it is and what it's really meant for, which is a priority of prehab during your warm-ups, it's good for now. Now that's it for all the lower body lifts, but again, just being a little more creative, upper body workouts. I do a lot of body weight exercises, especially for the push and the pull. A lot of push-ups, a lot of rowing, both on the Olympic rings. The reason why is because regular push-ups on the ground, I can get a lot done, but I like to challenge myself a little more. So when I do it on the rings, I actually elevate my legs on here. Oh, that elevated angle just puts more strain on those pecs, those front delts, those triceps. Pretty good. If you're doing exercises on the ground and you gotta elevate or adjust the angle of your body, these will definitely help you out. Whether you're elevating your legs on the push-ups the way I do, or if you want to go ahead and do some type of row on rings, on a bar, and typically do body weight, instead of your feet being on the ground, you can go ahead and elevate your feet onto these blocks as well. You can start off on the ground. Okay, let's just say you do 10 reps. Especially if you're a beginner and just getting used to doing body weight rows, you could do 10 reps on week 1 on the ground. But you know what? We got to keep progressing. We got to keep improving. Eventually, elevate your foot 2 inches off the ground. All right, once you get 10 on that, keep progressing, keep seeing improvement, keep seeing strength gains. Boom, now elevating off of 4 inches, and now eventually off of 6 inches. Boom, you see, these could just be a good way to measure progress on exercises like that. But it's not just even on that. What if I just want to do regular push-ups on the ground, but I want an increased range of motion, but instead of elevating my legs, I'm now propping my hands up onto 2 right here, and I put one hand on each one, and when I go down for a push-up, I feel a deeper stretch because now my chest is not hitting the floor. Now I can actually sink a little bit lower, 2 inches lower. A deeper stretch, more range of motion, could lead to more gains, and in this case I'm doing it for the pecs. Now that's just training for aesthetics, that's just training for looks. But what if I'm an athlete and I got to train my explosiveness, I got to be able to, boom, rebound like that? Performance is different from aesthetics, so you got to train accordingly. And I want to go ahead and start training those plyometrics, those quick stretch reflexes of the muscle. Okay, same thing. Just do plyometric push-ups, 1 on each side, and just explosive off the floor, off the blocks, off the floor, off the blocks, just going back and forth. Both of them great exercises. It's little changes like that that will add a lot of variety to your routine, and different stimulus can lead to different results, whether it be improving muscle gain, strength gains, power output, whatever it may be. These will definitely come into play. So there you have it, everyone. Again, the tip bar guy, thank you once again, not just for this bench that I got a couple weeks ago, because trust me, I am using it every single leg day. I do legs twice a week. Without a doubt, this is getting plenty of good use. This will definitely get even more use. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you did, and also comment down below anything else that you can think of that I could possibly do when it comes to this piece of equipment right here. And also comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is. comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help you all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. And then Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I'll put all my links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.